Welcome, everybody, to the Two Guys Show. This is episode number 28 here on April 15th, Tax Day. I am, of course, one of your co-hosts, Drew Minnock, at TechMinnock on Twitter, and you can always find us at our blog at twoguysandsomeipads.com. And we're excited for our show tonight. Definitely excited. It's just Brad and I kicking it for tonight, and we're going to have a special guest pop in real late to join us for the playlist and things like that. But as always, my other co-host is...
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network, giving educators a big voice. Thank you. It seems like we may not have seen you guys for a while, so we're going to catch up tonight. Drew and I have a lot going on. We've heard from a lot of amazing educators around the world about what they're doing in education. We want to share stories about what we've been doing, where we've been. We want to share about some stories about educators we've been talking with around the country and what they've been doing, and a lot of augmented reality. Tonight we're going to be talking about some DAQRI's 4D Studio, which is it's comparable to Erasmus Studio. So I say Erasmus Studio so people understand what we're talking about. We're talking about a creation device, right, Drew?
Yes, we are. We're definitely talking about creation tonight, creating different types of AR, the different platforms to use to create augmented reality. So, but one of the main focuses we're going to focus on is definitely going to be DAQRI's 4D Studio. So we're pretty excited about that.
Absolutely. So we know it's been a while. We were on a couple weeks ago. We were week off before that. So let's get caught up. So Drew, there's before we get into the DAQRI and the most recent trips, real quick, why don't you fill people in about, you mentioned this once about Cromville, the guys over in Spain. Want to chat a little bit about them. I know we've both done Google Hangouts with them. Separately, you came in when I was on with them because we're just down the hall. Why don't you talk a little bit about your experience with Cromville and your hangout with them, and then I'll jump in, and then you can end up with the contest that they're running.
Cromville, those guys are a trip, aren't they? I mean, they're funny. They are definitely funny. I'll never forget, we reached out, we were talking back and forth on kind of what they got going on, which, we love just about anything AR, but definitely, with Color Mix, and then with them coming out with this, and it's kind of a little bit different than Color Mix, wouldn't you say, Brad?
Yeah, it's a little different.
It's definitely different.
Yeah,
but it's cool. Very cool.
It's really cool. And the guys, as Drew said, are a trip. Obviously English is their second language, but they make it work. It's really cool. They're between Barcelona and Madrid. And so we've done Google Hangouts with them. And the cool thing about their
We got to get over there.
Oh, I know, right? We got to get over there. You know what? Drew, I see it in our future. I really do. So
I agree.
So the cool thing about Cromville, it's like Color AR Mix, but the really cool thing is they're working on it like telling a story, which I know is a big thing with DAQRI, which is awesome. Storytelling. They have like these different stories or chapters, and they've got an introduction to each one. They've got like Cloud City, basically a city under the sea, Rock City, and different formations, different elements. They also have one that the storyline goes around like protecting the forest and being smart and
being green. Greenland.
Being Greenland, that's right, being green. Really cool stuff. So Drew, how was your conversation when you hung out with them? What did you guys chat about?
It was great. We just kind of talked about their business model, kind of what they had coming down the pipeline. We talked a little bit about their other company, where they create augmented reality T-shirts, and I know you got a little preview of that and stuff like that. So I did as well, so that was pretty cool. But they're also they're really trying to get into education. AR and technology is not real big in education over there in Spain, so that's kind of been a struggle for them. And we talked kind of maybe a little bit more on how to get their names out there and kind of promote what they're doing. And definitely think that their writing contest they got coming up, or is it going on right now? It's going on right now. I think it's a great idea. We started this at the beginning of the year, Brad, using Color Mix to inspire creative writing, right?
Yep.
Well, they've taken it and run with it. I mean, really, they have. All contests are specify the name of Greenland's Girl, so that's one of the specific coloring pages that they have, and you have to create this whole story, the maximum size of maximum 2 pages, and they have 2 different contests from first, second, and third grade, and then fourth and fifth grade. 2 different contests going on. And the winners get some pretty sweet prizes: a 3D printed Chromeville trophy,
Woo! That's awesome.
Chromeville shirt, a winner's diploma, and I mean, how cool is that?
That's
You know,
awesome.
the best name given to the Greenland girl. So people have to come up with a name for her as well. Also get a trophy, a 3D printed trophy, and a shirt. So there's a writing contest, but then there's also the most creative name contest. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool because when we were chatting with them, and Drew's class is very similar. It was funny because of the time exchange. I was going to chat with them a little after 9:15 when my kids were going to music. But the thing is, we ended up jumping on early, and my kids walked in for the day, which was awesome because, you know, like you, Drew, it's nothing uncommon to be doing a Google Hangout with people all over the world. So it's great. The kids come in, they ask who we're chatting with, they get behind me, they say hi, they start talking about the app, they start asking questions, and they didn't miss a beat. So we're really giving them that 21st century education, which is fantastic. But the coolest thing, and you already alluded to it, Drew, was their interest in education.
Yes, definitely.
We say this from time to time, like, you know, next level. We talk about augmented reality and then something to take the next level. And it's really cool because, you know, Color AR Mix, you know, they really took it to the next level, you know, by taking what the kids create and bringing it to life. Now, it's great because we talked about creative writing. We've done the post, you know, it's gone all over. It's gone on site. It was excellent. And the guys from Cromville saw that, you know, and they had already were working on it, and they really applied it to the writing process. They're even taking it to the next level, you know, make it interactive with not only making it interactive with the kids, but doing contests and stuff. So we want to show our love and support for those guys because they're just some young guys, young guys wanting to go after it. And as you mentioned, Drew, those T-shirts are amazing.
They're fun. They're pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really cool. And so, like, if you haven't seen their T-shirts, their T-shirt company goes by Imascono. If you want to see more about their T-shirts, go to probably mine and Drew's both, but you can go to my Twitter feed, go down to the photos section, and you can see I've got some images of Google hanging out with them showing our shirts. But then go to our Instagram, the two guys' Instagram, and you can see the video. You can see the video of them showing the target. And Drew, I was explaining this. One of the coolest things I loved about it, and I thought this was brilliant, is the target is here.
On the shirt, yeah.
On the shirt. Typically, your experience is right on top of the target. But it's so awesome when you're looking at it, the target's here, the experience is up at the face.
So it looks like you got like a Greco head or whatever, right?
Like you have a
gecko or whatever. You know?
Have a gorilla. I love the gorilla. It's so cool because
like the gorilla.
Oh, I'm telling you, those shirts are available. I will give them a shameless plug. You can go to imascono.com. You can look in the Twitter feed, whatever. They are awesome. I'll tell you, when the guys head on, we're demoing it. You can like interact where the gorilla starts growling and stuff like that, and the heads move. It's really cool stuff. So you know, just a fun thing.
Cool things.
Yeah, more wearable technology, which is awesome. So.
And just a heads up. Writing contest ends May 9th, so everything has to be submitted by May 9th. So just for everyone out there who, you know, elementary school teachers who are going to kind of share this. And there's a consent form as well. So pretty awesome. Definitely pretty awesome. So.
Hey, Drew. Man, our Twitter feed's already looking great tonight. We
already got a comment just now on our blog from Down Under in Australia. So Tim. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. We're definitely going to check out the 4D Studio, and I'll screen share and kind of walk through kind of how it works and give everyone kind of a preview of it. We're going to be blowing that up here shortly, so I hope everyone's ready to be using. We're going to use a couple different hashtags if anyone read the.
Let's go ahead and talk about that, Drew. We're going to use our typical hashtag Two Guys Show. And what else are we going to use tonight, Drew?
Hashtag 4D. Okay, because you know, with DAC, it's not 3D. Everyone thinks of augmented reality, you know, you got this 3D experience, but it's not. It's 4D with DAC. You know, they give that whole different element. You know, 3D sitting here, you're watching a movie screen with the glasses on. You know, it's the only way you can experience it. With 4D, you actually hold it in your hand, you interact with it, right? It tells a story or a medium, and you know, it's. I'll tell you what, we had fun. We had fun when we were out there, didn't we?
Oh, so all right, Drew. So here's let's share how the story kind of unfolded. We got this amazing opportunity to, during our break, to fly out to LA and see Daiquiri's headquarters. What were you thinking when you heard we were going to get a chance to go out there, Drew?
You almost kind of just laugh, you know? I mean, it's just like, really? Like, this is awesome.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I met them, I met Brian and Gaia last year in San Francisco. I had the privilege of meeting them, but to actually get to go out there, you know, now and get to see and meet everybody and just kind of see what they got going on in their new headquarters is awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. So want to talk about that a little bit. So Drew and I, you know, we've talked about a lot of great companies, and you know, we've had David Stone from Erasmus on here. We've talked to the Color Mix guys. You know, we've talked to Cromville guys and
AR Flashcards, Michelin Media.
Had Heath on here, had Heath Mitchell on here. I mean, a lot of amazing companies. And so when we got the opportunity to go out to Daiquiri, really, I know Drew and I were sitting in this meeting.
It was like a dream come true for us, because their stuff's the best. We say it all the time.
And we've always said that. So you know what? So use hashtag 4D as we're talking about Daiquiri.
And we want you tagging Daiquiri. So at Daiquiri, all capitals. Tag them in this and let them know, you know, that we're talking about them, and let them know about that you're definitely interested in 4D.
Absolutely.
In the 4D studio after we show it to you.
Absolutely. So Drew, it's interesting how we met in LA. We were not in the same place when we left. We were on vacation. It was spring break. Where did you fly out of, Drew?
I flew out of Detroit. I got in Sunday afternoon and got to the hotel mid-afternoon, and then I'm lucky I have some family out there, so I got to hang out with them, and I don't get to see them very often. So that was awesome. They cooked me a big steak dinner, you know, and it was nice.
That was awesome. And I was on vacation down south, and I ended up driving to Atlanta to get on a plane, and I flew out Monday morning. I got on a plane in Atlanta 8:45 Monday morning Eastern time, landed in LA about 11, and that's where I hopped in a cab, met you at the hotel. And Drew, where did we stay?
We stayed at the LA Athletic Club, and whew, was it cool. That is one awesome place. You know, I'm a huge John Wooden fan. I think that everyone needs to read his books. I think that man, he just gets life. He just gets it. I mean, Brad, you know, I'm with one of my students now. We meet after school or before school, and we're reading this book right now to kind of, you know, just focus on some really important aspects of life right now, and it's just awesome. So to walk in and see the John Wooden Award there is just so
right there
cool.
by the, and I thought that was pretty ironic because I know what a big fan you are, and we walk in the lobby, and right there by the bank of elevators is the big John Wooden trophy, and Drew, that was an old classic place, wasn't it? The architecture, the signs all over the place. We had to have a dress code. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I think that's the first time I checked in a hotel, and all of a sudden they hand you a set of rules. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was interesting. So you were down there having breakfast, I believe, and didn't you feel a little underdressed?
I did. I felt like they were just staring at me the whole time. You know, it was kind of a little awkward, but it was fun.
Well, I think they were just saying, "You let the high schooler in." You know, I mean, you do look. You know, that's
let the kid in. Where's his parents?
Where's this kid's parents? You know, is he here for training? Is he supposed to be in the pool on the 6th level? Get that kid up here. He's an unescorted minor.
Oh, too funny, too funny.
So, go ahead.
Before we dive in, you know, obviously we're going to highlight Daiquiri. We'll kind of highlight a couple of the other ones. Everyone knows we've talked about Erasmus Studio. We had David Stone on here our last episode. So, I mean, most people that are watching the show, I would imagine, know Erasmus Studio. Don't you think, Brad?
Yeah, and that's why, you know what? That's why we're going to talk about Daiquiri tonight, because you know what?
Yeah, because not a lot of people know about it.
Right, and the good comparison is now, you know, we've talked about creating with Erasmus. Now you're going to have the opportunity to start creating similar kind of things with Daiquiri Studio, and it's pretty robust, which is really nice. And so Drew and I have had the opportunity to get the Beta X version, so we've been playing with it. And so we're going. I don't know if we're planning on showing it. Drew, I think you might screenshot it and show it. Is that right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna screen share.
Right,
we're gonna screen share here soon and show. We're just gonna kind of walk through it a little bit, and kind of show you what it looks like, kind of how it works, and just really how easy it is. I mean, it's just crazy how easy it is.
And it's cool because it's going to have some advanced features. And I know when we get to that point, Drew, I want to talk about your integration with Structure Sensor and with everything, and just kind of like since You know, look, we had this conversation the other day. We have so many cool emerging technologies and fun things that, you know, that now what we're talking about is how do we integrate these into the 21st century classroom. And if you're just joining us, that's what Drew and I do. We talk about emerging technologies and a true integration of technology into our curriculum. Things we talk about are things we use firsthand with students. We go into classrooms, we work with our students or whatever, and we use it as a true integration. We don't use it as a standalone. We don't use it as a computer lab time. We don't use it as a plug and play. We're like, okay, now this kid's on this site. It's not that. It's not a digital version of an analog technology. Okay, so that's kind of what we want to share tonight, and our feature tonight is the Daiquiri Studio. So, Drew, before we jump in, just real quick, a couple highlights, two things that you want to share from the visit at Daiquiri.
For me, oh man, it was a couple things. You know, I mean, that's kind of hard. I would say the motion capture, the capture studio.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you walk in and it's just like all white curtains, and they have 65 SLR cameras all around you, over your head, everywhere, right? Don't they, Brad?
They do. It's amazing. I'm going to tweet the picture right now.
Yeah. So. You walk in there and there's a little spot for you to stand. You can either stand in there, you can do people, or they can do objects as well. And then boom, they hit a button, and all 65 cameras go off at the same time. And then they take all of those pictures and collect them using some software. I'm not sure exactly which one they use, but it stitches them all together to create a 3D model right there on the spot. I mean, it was pretty cool. You know, Brad and I both had a couple 3D models of ourselves made when we were there. Yep. Which we're really excited to see how they come out here shortly, hopefully. But Brad, what did you get with your 3D model?
So it was really interesting because apparently it was kind of a privilege for Drew and I to get in there, and they had us come in there. They wanted to take 3D model shots of us, and they're going to put them on our Two Guys card, which is awesome. So it's interesting because we were kind of talking. Drew had his glass on, and I was just standing there. I was getting ready to take a selfie inside the motion capture lab. And the thing is Drew and I were just chatting. Drew was on the outside of the curtain. I said, hey, I should do a selfie of a selfie. And the guys go, well, you'd be the first one to ever do a selfie in here. So I literally stood in the capture lab with my phone just like this and got a 3D model of myself taking a selfie with my phone. So that'll be pretty interesting when it comes out. We'll be sure to share that on Instagram and Twitter when it comes out. So that was fun. And then so Drew, what did you do?
I got mine with glass on. I think they said I was the first one to ever wear Google Glass in there, and I get a 3D model with wearing glass. So I wore glass the first time, and I videotaped it as it was happening. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. How about having 60 flashes go off? Was that a lot brighter than you expected?
You know, it wasn't. It was not as bright inside, but if you're standing outside because of the curtains, it was like, whew. I stood in the hallway when you got yours taken, so that was good.
Yeah, it was really cool. So, all right. So for me, I guess mine, of course, is gonna be the capture lab. But I guess when we did the MindWave, MindLight. That was pretty wild. If you want to see the MindLight, go to our Instagram. Two Guys, Some iPads. Go to our Instagram and check out MindLight. I believe it's on there. Is it on there? Yeah, it's got to be on there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on there. Okay. If not, it's on our Facebook page.
Okay, it's on our Facebook page. That was where using Google Glass and using an EKG reader with it on your earlobe and your forehead, you could just think about turning this lamp on and off. And we got some great video of us able to do that with the technology. It was absolutely fascinating.
It was kind of crazy. And, that was one of the things I really wanted to do going out there. I told you that, it's like we got to do MindLight while we're here. We got to turn the lamps on and off using our mind. So I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that, does it?
No, that was something special. So I won't forget that. So
no doubt. So I'd like to dive into it a little bit. We promised everyone, talking about AR creation. So I'd like to, show some different things here if we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and screen share, and for the people who are listening later on, through iTunes and things like that, you'll definitely have to go back and check out the live show and the feed, just so you can get an idea of what 4D Studio looks like and how amazing it is.
Absolutely.
So hopefully everyone can see this. So this is the 4D Studio, and this is the Two Guys portion of it here. So as you can see, which says DAQRI at the top, because once we launch a project, that is what application it will go to. It will go to the DAQRI application, because otherwise it would go to, if you have a white label application or something like that, your own application, you'll be able to hit this drop-down menu and select a different application. Okay, so then you can start different projects. So let's say I have my 4th grade class one. We have the Two Guys show, and then did you name this Bandit?
Me?
Brad? Yeah.
I didn't name one Bandit. You got one in there as Bandit?
No, you put this in here, Bandit.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I must have. I did add some though. I did add some.
So then you click on the different projects, and this is where you can add your content or your triggers.
Yeah,
okay?
I did that one. I did.
Yep. Told you.
Well, Brad and Drew.
What?
Never mind. Acronym.
No, I don't even want it. Oh, I get it. It says Bandit.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was doing. That's it.
Yeah, it's okay. So then here's where you upload your trigger images. As you can see right here in the blue, this is important. Okay, this is the score of your trigger image. So how well it will pick up, with 5 being the best, obviously. And when you're creating in the 4D Studio here, the more complex the experience, so the more chapters in the storytelling you have, or if you have 3D models or a 4D experience, the higher you really want that score to be. As you can see, this one with the DAQRI picture, that's only got a score of 1, so it's still kind of processing the video that I put over it, and it's still taking some time. So definitely want to get a 5 marker or a higher level 1. That's for sure a higher score. So once it uploads, you'll be able to hover over the picture and you'll click Designer. So when I click Designer here, this is where it takes me into the 4D Studio. Okay, so as you can see up here, there's different chapters. And Brad, I thought this was really interesting when we were very fortunate enough to have one of their engineers kind of just walk us through this, weren't we?
Yep. Yeah. Well, awesome. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually emailed Wally today for help. But about the tabs, did you realize that those are chapters?
I did.
Well, see, you're smarter than I.
Well, well, I won't argue that, but it's nice to have a small leg up on you on a studio, because I've never had that in Aurasma, and it might be short-lived in DAQRI. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So these are different chapters for like telling a story. So as you can see, when you click from one tab to another, the first tab here, we have a video over it. It failed, probably because I started uploading that at school, Brad, and then I left, so it got interrupted when I lost Wi-Fi.
Yep.
But you can make it go to each chapter to tell a story. So it's almost like when a lot of times I've made the tutorials about sequence auras and click-throughs, interactive click-throughs with Aurasma. Well, this is a lot easier way really to do it.
Yep.
This is 3D model. If you click and drag, all you do is it's so easy. It's literally just a click and drag. Yeah, so if I want to add a click and I drag it. I mean, it's that simple. And then I just enter the URL here, and then boom, I'm done. I mean, it's pretty easy, isn't it, Brad?
It is, and I don't want to talk too much because I'll take off the screen share. But the great thing is Drew, and everybody, all our audience knows this. I've always been the device guy. You've always been not only device but studio as well. And Aurasma Studio eluded me to some degree, so I didn't delve into it quite like you did. The great thing about the DAQRI Studio, the 4D Studio, was, you know what? I got in, I started playing, I started pulling and dragging from the options on the left-hand side and started using the chapter features. The way my brain works, that made sense to me. So I was able to jump in, and you saw I was able to create something like 4 chapters, and it didn't take very long. I mean, it wasn't great, but the fact is I was able to go in there and work on it. And again, this is kind of a first beta version, and it's already pretty killer, and it's only going to get better and better over time, especially with, and you can support this, with their interest in education and supporting this on the education level.
And after we kind of dive into this and I show this a little bit more, Brad, we're going to really talk about that, because their passion and vision for education is spot on.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, as you can just literally, this is the funny thing is, like, this year, I had to work with a lot of educators that were in our school and teach them how to create design websites. And I got them all on Weebly because it's literally so easy, like a drag and drop, right?
Yep.
Well, this is that simple. It's like a drag and drop. Okay, so these right here are buttons. So if I wanted to add a button to my aura or my trigger, sorry, and then you go over here and you can pick what that image will look like. Or
I love that. I love that feature.
Right? You click this, and they already have buttons for you. Twitter. Yep. You know, if you want to do an SMS here, Pinterest, you want someone to pay you or buy something, why not, right?
Well,
email,
course, right? We love to pay.
Facebook, you know, a different URL. If you want to click to the next chapters, there you go. So they already have standard buttons already there. And this is right where you can see it. If they hit that button over here, you can go to a next chapter, or you can send it almost as a click-through right to a URL, which is pretty awesome. And then it's always nice to right up here to kind of name whatever that button is, so you know when you drag it over top, which button you're kind of working with there. And then if you want to delete that, and you just go over here and you hover over the X, and you're good.
And I know what's that?
And go ahead, Brad.
I was just saying, I know we might be kind of going a little fast, and you know that's okay because you know we're limited time for the show. This is it's not a hands-on it's not a workshop or anything, but we want to just kind of get you a chance to see it, kind of visually see what it's all about, get the idea behind the chapters and the drag and drop, and just really
the ease of it, don't you think?
Yeah, Drew, I can do it. It's fantastic. I mean, I love it.
Let me tell you something. If old people like you can do it, we're all right.
All right, Drew. Since you went there, I'm going to go ahead and say the funniest thing that you said the whole trip we're out there is when we were with Justin and the other guys in the capture lab, and we talked about connecting a 3D image, and you go, "Can you make me taller?" I was like, "We can," I mean, because we were talking about one of our friends. The glitches he had on his model when it was done, no names to be mentioned. We were kind of giving them a hard time about that, and they laughed. And so when you talked about, if they can do the Capture Studio to make you taller, I thought that was pretty funny. And I won't share this pic right now, but when you were so kind to stage a pic when you're sitting in the 60s egg spaceship chair, it made me laugh.
Well, I'm trying to keep up with the older people that I hang out with, so.
Oh.
Anyway.
Too funny.
So back to the 4D Studio. So this is just a little bit of how it works from the actual design portion of it once you actually get into it, the designer portion. So then if you want to go back over here, when you upload an image, you get to actually select kind of the template that you want, like a publication, you want like a billboard out of home, a poster, you want like an envelope, you just click on it. And then you hit next, and they have a library of things that they've already uploaded. But then you just click to the desktop here, and you get to select your image. And that's the great thing is that they pretty much cover just about any image you can think of or any format or file, that's out there, video or image when you upload a trigger.
Yeah, and just the storytelling element is just fantastic, and the way you can drop in and just kind of specifically use certain parts of the the image, for buttons or whatever, and it's real easy to create the sizes. And then the great thing is going into chapters, and depending on what chapter you're on, going back. Okay, this is maybe an older generation. If people remember using HyperCard. HyperCard was a computer program where you would, I think it was almost like PowerPoint and programming. HyperCard, it was like storytelling. It was this is like that kind of it uses that kind of format as far as like going back and telling stories and where you can go from different chapters, which is education's all about storytelling, and we heard that firsthand from Brian, the CEO, when we were out there. Yes,
I love how you just showed your age. That was classic.
Thanks. Well, it was in 1972 when I was in college, so I am. I don't know what that.
Never mind. So, with the updated version, you can actually collaborate with other people. So we have myself and Brad. So I can upload a trigger image, and we can actually collaborate at the same exact time on one project.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Dude, it's like Google Docs
It's like Google Docs for AR.
it's like Google Drive for AR. How awesome is that? Google, they beat you to it. I mean, really, right?
I mean, it's way cooler. It's just so cool. And then, you know, as educators and everything, what do we always want to know? We always want to know data. Everyone wants to know data, right? How engaged were they? What was the experience like for them, right? And that's what everyone wants to know. What was the time on task? Well, boom, here you go. Okay, so it gives you the number of engagements. So each time that someone uses your trigger with the Daiquiri application, it'll tell you that. And it'll give you the average of time that they're engaged into it. Isn't that crazy?
Drew, and we mentioned this while we're out there. You know, teachers, we're in a unique occupation where we talk in minutes. You know, we really talk in minutes. We talk about, all right, Johnny's usually good on task. I can get it for about 9 minutes or whatever. You know, if I can bring that to, you know, 16 minutes, you know, I'm almost doubling that. You know, well, the thing is now we can start using the analytics and the data to really support the power of augmented reality. And you know, I was on a show the other night with Courtney. You know, iPad Queen 2012.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about she talked about Paul Hamilton and some people doing some research on AR. You know, doing like very traditional research. You know, like a sample group, a group that gets this, a group that gets this. You know, one variable. Well, the nice thing about this is we're going to be able to collect very specific data, and not saying everything has to be data-driven, but it sure would be powerful to say, look at how engaged Tommy is. This is his information when he's using augmented reality in his education, because you hear Drew and I talking about the impact we see with students. You know, their learning is deeper and their time on task is longer. You know, we as educators, if that's what we're getting, that's what we want. That gives us the Midas touch, the golden touch to work with our kids. We know what impacts them, whether it's buy-in, engagement, or time on task. This now can give us the feedback. And what we're always looking for is, what is that tool that's going to help me, that's really going to help me do my job even better, because we're here for a reason. We're here for the kids, for the students, to help their learning and bring their learning along, because everybody's a different learner. And this gives us another tool with good feedback to see the impact we're making with students. It's really brilliant.
I totally agree. So, I mean, going back over here, this, again, it gives you the number of interactions or each time you scan it. As you can tell, we haven't shared much of ours, Brad, or either that or people just don't care and they don't want to look at it. But
I'm just laughing at the tweets. Thanks, Katie Ann.
I missed it. But anyway, I'm busy.
Yeah, I know. Keep working, Drew. You're doing a great job.
Hey, thanks. So the number of interactions, but it also gives you the number of seconds or time on task that their engagement, average engagement time, which is just awesome. And again, this is for obviously the Daiquiri application, because, you know, we don't have a white label app for our own application, right? If you have enough money, you can get your own application through the 4D Studio, but, you know, everything is published right through Daiquiri. And that's the best thing about it, because it's free. It's free. I mean, there are limitations compared to like the professional ones, right, but like the number of, you know, content or the number of projects that you create and things like that. But it is free, literally. Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy.
It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, it really doesn't.
No.
So
and their commitment to educators and the education system, and you know, just the whole big picture in education, and it's about doing the right thing for students. We know when we first met Brian about a year ago, we happened to be at that function in Detroit, which I think we have talked about on the show, and how interesting it was, because we were two teachers in I don't even know what you would call it.
Out of our realm, or our realm. I mean, we were just completely just. I don't know what you'd say.
We got invited about a year ago. A buddy of mine I play soccer with invited us to an AR event in Detroit. He's with an advertising company. He's a commercial producer, and he said, "Hey, we're doing an event on AR. Why don't you come down?" We're like, "Great!" So Drew and I are wearing our backpacks. We're coming in teacher gear. We're ready to get targets out, get down and dirty, and start like a workshop. No, it was like a catered mixer, you know, an event mixer for you know, promotions and advertising agencies and stuff to all kind of collaborate, and people were dressed to the nines, weren't they, Drew?
Yeah, well, except for us.
except for the two teachers. But the cool thing
We
was,
stuck out like sore thumbs, but we had fun.
you know what? Sometimes it's nice to stand out in a crowd. So the cool thing was is Drew. I remember during the panel discussion, you asked a question about education, and Brian answered it. And we were actually lucky enough to meet with him after the show. And he said, "You know what, guys? I'd love to chat at another point because I really hold education close to our heart, and it's really something Daiquiri really wants to get involved in." And I think when we got out there this, last week, I think they kind of proved that to us. I mean, they showed it, and I believed it. It sounds like a great vision they have.
And that's one of the things that, again, like you just said, we learned early on that that's one of their passions is education, and obviously, they've shown that with Anatomy 4D, right? And play is very important in early childhood education, and bringing a new element or a new dimension to play with Enchantium, and giving the ability to kind of create your own music with musical strings. That's something they're very excited about, and they're very passionate, very, very passionate. They've spent some money like kind of doing a lot of research about the brain and kind of how augmented reality kind of affects learning, right? And the engagement, just kind of like how it stimulates the brain, right? The whole experience. And Brian and Guy, they both have the right vision, their heart's in the right place, their head's in the right place. They really they know this is the way people should learn. They know augmented reality, the power of it has in education, not just in, elementary classrooms, Bradford, I teach, or high school or middle school, but also higher education.
Yep. They kind of have a K-16 philosophy now, which is fantastic, and they've got some really cool visions, and we're hoping that we can help carry out the vision. In education, like we do with our show and our presentations and our blog, because Drew and I hold this dear to our heart, to where we want to do what's best for education. We want to show people the power of using augmented reality and other emerging technologies to make a difference in students' life and in teachers' lives, and in buildings and districts around the world. So it's something that we're excited about too, and we look forward to the things they're going to be doing in the future as well.
Yeah, and Brian said it best, like in their whole mission statement, right? It's to bring a whole new dimension to ideas, not just learning, but ideas in general. And that's just the right philosophy. It's the right idea, I guess you could say. A whole new dimension to ideas. That's one of their real core values that they have there, and it's something we also got to hear a lot about. And just the culture, I think, of the whole workplace there and everything. It was fun, man. It was something cool to be part of for a day and a half.
Yeah, and you were there a little longer than me, because I flew out at 6:25 a.m. and you flew out like 8:45. So, it's funny. I think I calculated I was there for 16 hours in LA, and I had to sleep during some of that time, so which wasn't much, because we burned the midnight oil that night, and I ended up getting in a cab at 4:30 in the morning to get back to LAX. So, but it was well worth it.
But it was great because that night we got to go out to dinner, and it's not just Gaia and Brian, the two co-founders and CEO of Daiquiri, but we got to really go out to dinner and hang out with like the marketing group and everything like that. And I'll tell you what, their passion for education, I mean, they were like chomping at the bit, and we had some great discussions about Common Core and just kind of like technology and education, where augmented reality is, and kind of the impact it can have, and they were really passionate about it, weren't they?
They were, and we've said this, and we talked about this while we were out there, Drew, and we've always said they have the best stuff. They have the best, the products they put out's the best. But the funny thing is we saw why, because wouldn't you agree with me, Drew? They had the best people out there. I mean, the culture there was just fantastic. The people we met, they were there for a greater good and a higher purpose. It seemed like they were willing to talk to anybody and everybody. They asked questions. They would answer questions. It was just, it's refreshing to see a company like that with a big picture in mind and actually living out kind of what they're talking about. It was really refreshing to see.
It really was, and again, to see companies like that, bigger companies, and like Daiquiri, we were joking, it's like they got a rocket strapped to their back. It's like, they are on fire, and they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, working with like companies like Fox, and Target. I know they did an application for Target and Ford, but again, when we're out there, they really made education was one of their main verticals and one of their key focuses moving forward, I think.
Absolutely.
So, if you want to start, Brad, I think we can kind of transition here, and we could talk about Daiquiri and our trip and 40 Studio all night long. But if you want to transition to kind of Twitter shout-outs, and I'm going to try and get our guest in here for the playlist.
Yeah, why don't you get our special guest queued up, and we'll have him drop in. So we're going to transition now, and as Drew said, we are so passionate about the different technology, the different companies we work with, and that's why we're so thankful we have this podcast, because we get a chance to talk with people. We get to talk about our experiences. We get a chance to hear from you guys. The Twitter feed is great tonight, guys. Keep it up. We're retweeting. We're answering back. We're trying to answer questions. You bring it up.
Make sure you're tweeting at Daiquiri and using hashtag 4D as well, right?
And hashtag 2GuysShow. It's fantastic. So as you know, we could go on and on and on, but we're going to transition. We're going to get our good friend in here, talk about something he's got going on this summer. And
excited.
Also want to, we'll move on to the Twitter shout-outs and, of course, what's on your playlist. So, Drew, who's on your list tonight for shout-outs?
You want me to go and start off?
Yeah, you know what? I can go.
Why don't you go? Why don't you go first tonight, since you are always going last?
That would
hog that spot, I think.
I guess we'll go best first, I guess, tonight. I mean, if that's...
Oh, my gosh, older.
It's age. Dang
age
it!
Before beauty.
Dang it! I was trying to do that the other way. Well, it's funny, Drew, because I have both. But I have age and beauty. I guess that makes me smarter and better looking.
And there's our guest.
Hey! All right. So you know what? Let's hold off on the Twitter shout-outs and the song list, because I'd like to have our guest join us for that. But, Drew, I will let you introduce our guest, but I want to chime in because we have an ironic history together.
Yes. Andy Losick, ladies and gentlemen, former McCall Teacher of the Year, and he is putting together an amazing event.
Hey, Andy, how are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I'm having a little mic problem. No, I'm doing fabulously.
Andy Losick, he's from the west side of Michigan, former McCall Teacher of the Year. Awesome guy, great guy, and we'll get to our ironic history soon. But Andy, why don't you tell us about what you got going on?
Well, I'm putting all my eggs this summer, professional development-wise, not heading off to any institutes or anything. We're going to try and pull off a great one here. We're putting together the first ever Q Rockstar camp outside of California, and we've teamed up with McCall, so we've got the best of McCall working with Q and John Carippo. He was on, I believe it was show number 20. I was watching a little bit about that. He was on with you guys earlier, and he just, he's got that passion. He came up with this idea where we're going to have professional development, basically, that does not suck, and we're going to get just an amazing group of people. So, we show up late, about 9 o'clock, for some good coffee. All the presenters get up, and they show you exactly what they're going to present. So they're going to sell it to you. They're going to show you why you want to go to their session, not that you have to go to their session or anything. Okay, then we're going to have a 2-hour hands-on morning session where the presenters only go for like 15 minutes, and then all you're doing is you're building. So our first day is going to be all Google, and then our next day is going to be all devices, and then our third day is going to be all about sound pedagogy and stuff. And so, we've got 10 presenters, 11 presenters that have all kinds of credentials. You can go on the website. It's q.org/RS camp, RS for Rockstar, and you can see all the other Rockstar camps, but you can see how Saugatuck stacks up. And I was looking at that today, and I'm just tickled at what we got. Then you go into a 2-hour catered lunch where, you just hang out, and teachers never get that kind of time.
And they do that on purpose, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
People don't know what to do. It's funny. It really is.
And lunch becomes kind of like an ed camp where you may not be a faculty member, but we have some people like Kari Hutner from Wisconsin. She's coming, and she's doing amazing stuff with 3D printing. So I want to pick her brain at lunchtime to learn about that. And then we do another 2-hour session with with ice cream in the afternoon, and then the fun begins. You know, we're going Wednesday night. We're going to go do the dune rides in Saugatuck, and then Thursday we've got a special guided tour at Fenn Valley, the vineyard down here, and you just enjoy the lakeshore. And for me, I'm to the point professionally where I get the most out of, you know, institutes and camps and conferences, not necessarily the sessions, but just the people that I get to hang out with. You know, perfect example is I had never spent any time with you guys. I had to go all the way to Orlando to FETC, and then we killed a whole day, you know, before I had to go to the airport, hanging out in probably a 6-foot by 6-foot room with Leslie Fisher, and you know, and I learned more in that than I did the whole rest of the conference, and that's where I learned that Brad and I both spent a good portion of our youth in Arizona. We're the same age, so you know, I was getting a little testy, Drew, when you're talking about
exactly
about Brad being an old man.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, you
we'll
look
drop
like
Smokey and Bandit references on you all the time. I think Bandit's a great name. Anything with
Drew doesn't even get it. He's like, I don't get it. Is that an animal? Yeah, Drew, it is. Just go with that.
It's actually my daughter's pony. He's named Bandit too. But
oh my gosh,
you know,
I don't even know what to say. Brad, you just look older. Maybe that's what it is.
It was funny, Andy, because what you just said, that we had never talked. You're on the western side of the state, which is, for anybody who's thinking about it, it is absolutely stunning.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous. The lake, honestly, it's being in Florida without the salt water. I'm not even kidding. The sand is just as beautiful, and the water's probably even clearer. But anyways, so it's funny, Andy, because you mentioned we had never had a chance to hang out, and all of a sudden here we are in Orlando in January at FETC, and we end up going into like I don't know if it's a Samsung or Sony. I think it was the Sony box, the Sony little box with you and Leslie Fisher and Shannon Miller ended up showing up, and man, we just sat there and killed it for a couple hours just chatting about everything that we could think of. And then I know you and I spent the next week tweeting about old Arizona references, you know, all the places we used to hang out, all the radio stations and commercials. I think you even sent me a vintage commercial from like 1980 for WK3
KDKB, Rocks, Arizona.
Drew's like, I'm out of the loop. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not. I like cash out. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we love that you came on tonight, and give a big shout out to Q Rockstar in Saugatuck, western side of the state. This summer we put up the link. We've tweeted it out. Andy, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, get some contact information on Q Rockstar, can you share that contact information real quick?
Yeah, you can. Easiest way is to find me on Twitter at Mr. Losick. I don't have all my toolbox going here with my lower third and everything, but at MRLOSIK. And if you just do a Google search for Q Rockstar and Saugatuck, there's there's a website. You guys talked about it, or MrLosick at gmail.com. Hit me up there. Easy way to ask questions, but lots of information's out there. And we're super excited that McCall has committed to help us publicize this, and it's a really great collaboration there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing I think that's really special about the Rockstar camps is it's not like you're going to like a McCall conference where there's thousands upon thousands of people, and you're jamming in these sessions where there's literally thousands of people in some of those featured sessions. It's like 100 people, period.
And 10 faculty, so we keep it a 10 to 1 camper to faculty ratio. And I tell you what, some of the people that have already committed that are coming, I mean, they're just they know as much, if not more, than those of us who are quote unquote on the faculty, on the staff there. So there's just as much to learn from the attendees that are coming. So you're going to be with 100 people. Just really special learning opportunity, learning that you want to be part of, not that's, required by your district or whatever.
Learning that doesn't suck, or PD that doesn't suck, right?
I think that's your tag, right? PD that doesn't suck. So awesome. Well, you know what, Andy, since you're here, why don't you join us? I don't know if you're prepared or not, but you know what? No, doesn't matter. We're going to have you join us anyways. So this is the segment of the show where we do Twitter shout-outs and PLN shout-outs, and then we'll move on to what's on your playlist. So For those of you joining us tonight on the Two Guys Show, we've been talking about AR and creation, focusing on DAQRI. We've also talked about Cromville and other augmented reality companies and how to use them in the classroom. Andy Losick is joining us, talking to us about Q Rockstar in Saugatuck this summer, so make sure you can check all that information out. We'd love to have you sign up. Spots are filling up fast, so get on that right away. And then let's go ahead and move on to the Twitter PLN shoutouts. So, Drew, who do you want to go first? You want Andy? You want me? What are you looking for tonight?
Well, I told Andy to be prepared with the playlist, so we can come back to that later, but I'll go ahead and start with the Twitter shoutouts.
All right, go ahead.
You know, since we really focused on DAQRI, our trip out there, and you know, the newly released 4D Studio, which is free, you can go sign up or request an invite at their link. It's been tweeted out several times tonight, or you can just go to our blog post and find it. But Brian Mullins is one, at Mr. Laserbeam. Definitely give him a follow. He definitely has the right mindset when it comes to education. It's a passion. Let him know what you think of the 4D Studio. So definitely give him a follow, at Mr. Laserbeam. Next is the other co-founder, Gaia. Again, very knowledgeable. She has a real passion for education. They have the real right mindset. And I don't even know how you pronounce her Twitter handle. I really don't. Brad, do you know what it is?
I don't.
I could spell it. It's FIANXU. Don't know how you say it, but shout out to Gaia. And then Go Noodle, at Go Noodle. Awesome brain break little activities, physical activities, get kids up, get them moving, get them energized. You can use breathing exercises to calm them down. And they actually have like a new release or a new activity out recently. So definitely check out Go Noodle. Awesome tool. And then I added a fourth one as we were starting. At Squash Smash, Ryan, I don't know if it's Beekman, Ryan Beekman. He tweeted out his first AR project today, and I was just like, you rock.
Yep,
that
cool,
is awesome. So a big shout out to him as well. So yeah, those are my my PLN or Twitter shout outs tonight.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to. Okay, just one second.
Oh, you trying to get your list of 45?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was going into my Twitter feed. Because it's funny. You said, Ryan. I gotta get. I'm okay. Okay. Don't really know what's going on, but that's all right.
Brad, you want me to give mine?
Yes, go ahead.
Andy, why don't you come in and save the day while
Brad's time to think here.
Drowning over there.
Sorry, I was stuck on something. Okay, all right, I got it. Okay. Actually,
right.
yes. No, you go, Andy, because I'm going to find that tweet.
All right, kind of playing off the Go Noodle thing, one of the things I've gotten hooked on lately is this, it's like bar trivia for kids in school and learning. It's called Kahoot, and you can follow them at Get Kahoot.
Yes.
And seriously, it is like Wink Martindale fantasy camp for me. I get up there and we're playing these game shows. We're doing first grade Tommy DePaula trivia, and the kids are just loving it, and it's awesome, and they respond. It's kind of like Socrative meets bar trivia, if you could imagine those things together.
Awesome.
And then shout out to a couple guys down on Team Jackson, Michigan. They have the Unconference Connected Educator Conference coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That I'm lucky enough to have been asked to keynote.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna do the keynote on that. Gonna base it all on basically engaging kids. Everything we ever need to know came from 80s movies. So the title of it is
awesome.
If is your teaching an excellent adventure or a bogus journey? And we'll even throw Spicoli and Ferris Bueller in there.
Spicoli! Oh God, that is awesome.
We'll dissect
this show's gone to the wolves.
Has no idea. No idea.
With Mr. Hand. So back to those guys. Brad Wilson, he is at Dream Bition.
Mm-hmm.
Dream and Bition, and then you can find Ambition in there. So he's great. And then Dan Spencer, who is at Run Far DVS. Two great guys there. So those are my shout outs.
Awesome.
Excellent shout outs. Excellent shout outs. And that unconference is going to be great. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So, Brad, have you stopped drowning over there yet? Have you figured out what's going on?
It was, the Twitter feed got so much tonight. I had to go back a lot further because I was going back to this morning from a tweet I had seen because we don't tweet during the day. While we're in class, we can see things. We don't actively tweet. So I wanted to go back and I got a tweet right before we got the one from Ryan. I got another similar one, Drew. It was from Dana Sakala Taylor. She tweeted and said, "Our first interactive hallway display." So here's the picture. I don't know. Is that showing up? It's great. Anyway, so.
Oh, great.
So you can follow Dana she is at Dana Teach, Dayna Teach. And then I want to give a shout out to Louise Morgan, Miss Morgan's class. It's really cool because she's one of those educators that we've, reach out to us, and Drew can confirm this, and there's probably a lot of people, she reached out to myself and my class about coding. She teaches second grade in Indiana, I believe, and what was really cool, so we ended up doing a Google Hangout with her. One of my third graders was teaching her class CargoBot, and it was fantastic. We got some great pictures of it, and one of my kids, 8-year-old girl, she's just, I got a couple that are just fantastic, and it was great because she got to have another role. She got to be teacher, educator, mentor to this group of second graders, and it was fantastic. So want to give a big shout out to her and her class. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. I think she even sent me a picture, said, "Look, this is our AR folder," and Drew, it looked just like ours on our iPads. It had all the same stuff. Actually, there's one I'd never seen, so I want to get back to her on that, which was
That's awesome.
And then another one was Maggie Bolado. She's from Texas. I gave her a shout out a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, about some cool stuff that her kids are doing. Well, she contacted me. She's doing some AR workshop, and so I was helping her out last night. And then want to give shout outs to oh my gosh, Katie Ann, Peter Imascono, the Croneville guys, 2 teachers, Joanne, Terry, Ted. Hold on. I'm still in one breath.
Brad, I don't know if you saw Croneville's tweet or Peter's.
Which one?
You guys just woke me up because my phone was going nuts.
I did. That was so awesome.
I don't even know what time it is there, but that is great.
It is actually 3 in the morning over there right now. So we woke them up, which was great. So huge shout outs to them. Huge shout outs to everybody that's watching the show. We always love it. We appreciate you guys are what make the show. You coming in, being interactive with us. We totally appreciate it. So, but stay tuned because we're now going to unveil our latest playlist. So I got to go last.
Oh.
I'm still listening to some in my ear right now. I got some that I'm just kidding.
In your pinky?
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any headphones. What am I supposed to do?
All right, Andy, you're the guest. Why don't you hit us with some of your 80s rock music? That's what I have a feeling we're going to get here with your playlist. Am I right?
You're close. You're a decade off.
70s?
Nice. Oh, he went the other way. Oh,
yep.
Ouch. That was
Moondance by Van Morrison. That's all I got.
Yeah. That's your only one?
No. 90s, bro. 90s. I've been on a kick where I've been watching all the 90s MTV Unplugged specials on YouTube. You know what? We may not have MTV anymore. There may not be music on MTV. But we still have YouTube, and that's still better. So,
yes.
Been way into Pearl Jam and Nirvana. Both of those Unplugged specials are amazing. And then some of the stuff off of Pearl Jam's 20. I don't know why it's been in my head, but Better Man. Eddie Vedder comes on stage in Madison Square Garden, and they play the intro to that song, and then he just lets the whole crowd sing the beginning to that amazing song. And then there's another one on there where Springsteen sees it. So, going back to those grunge days of the early 90s, that Pearl Jam 10 cassette that I wore out. Yes, Brad. Andrew,
Dude,
a cassette.
I saw Pearl Jam in 1990 at Lollapalooza. It was awesome. They were with Red Hot Chili Peppers and they were one of the early acts, but they stole the show. It was absolutely incredible.
And if you haven't seen the movie Singles, it's an old Cameron Crowe movie. Nothing depicts Drew. Go back. It's like a time machine. You'll see me and this other old guy 20 years ago. Exactly.
So true. Oh my God, we have our own decade to laugh at. It's pretty crazy.
It's awesome. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I like Pearl. I know Pearl Jam, and I don't mind Pearl Jam at all. I don't get the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm just not
me
a fan.
neither.
Not a fan at all. Especially, it's like, why are we having them back at the Super Bowl halftime?
Okay.
I don't get it.
You know what? I agree, because funny thing is like, you know, the only song, and Andy can confirm this, you know, Under the Bridge was popular like in 92, 91 or something. Okay, it was okay. It was a cool song, I guess. But the thing is Drew, I'm so with you. Bruno Mars was slaying it, dude. He was slaying it. And all of a sudden the Red Hot Chili Peppers came on and, like, just for me, ruined the show. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. I mean, and I wasn't even a huge Bruno fan, but I was convinced, man, that guy was pretty talented. So I was
I agree. He's part of the Short Man Club. He's pretty short. He's only like 5. I think he's shorter than me, Brad.
No.
Yeah. Bruno Mars is super short.
At least he's talented.
Oh.
So is Bob Costas.
I'm not a Bob Costas fan.
Oh, too funny. Too funny.
All right. I'll go next then. My first song is going to be On Top of the World by the Imagine Dragons. Huge Imagine Dragons fan. And actually, one of our friends and someone who will be on the show pretty soon, in the next couple months or whatever, George Kiros just got engaged. Congratulations. Good shout out to him. And he put this on Facebook the other day, like saying On Top of the World, right, by Imagine Dragons. So Imagine Dragons are definitely one of my favorite bands out there right now. Another song, Brad, you might like this song. I'm not sure. Have you heard that Hey Brother song?
Oh, by Avicii?
Yes.
That was one of mine, thank you.
Well, not anymore, because I beat you to it.
That's all right. Yeah, it's
Hey Brother by Avicii is a very awesome song.
Yeah,
so definitely check that song out. And then the last one it's a little bit older, like a year old, I guess. It's What Goes Around Comes Around by Justin Timberlake. That is a great song.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you laughing at me, Andy? Are you laughing at me for picking Justin Timberlake?
No, not at all.
I think you were. Or were you laughing at me for calling it old and it was a year old?
Yeah, I just someday you'll get married and that'll be the end. Every reference will go back to prior to that.
Exactly. Exactly.
But that's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. It's the best thing that happened to me. I can guarantee you that.
That's awesome.
I'd still be in Arizona.
Oh, that's so funny.
Awesome. All right, so am I up?
You're up.
Okay. All right. So I got two that are gonna be throwbacks that I've mentioned, but I think they're only appropriate for what's transpired last week. But I'm gonna do Since You Stole My Hey Brother by Avicii, which is awesome. We could do 10 songs a week, you know that, but we're gonna keep it. There's a song called "Be Okay" by, I believe it's Hey Honey. Be Okay. Somebody's gonna have to help me out here. I didn't look it up before.
I don't know that song.
It's on satellite. If you look at Hits 1 on satellite.
Be Okay?
Yeah, it's called "Be Okay" by Hey Honey, I believe it is. It's a really cool song. And then other one I got is "L.A. Story" by.
Oh Honey.
Oh Honey. Oh Honey. Be Okay by Oh Honey. Thank you. Awesome, Drew. So L.A. Story by Sammy Adams and Mike Posner. Mike Posner, a Michigan local. He went to high school in Birmingham. So shout out L.A. Story by Sammy Adams and Mike Posner. And then Sunset Boulevard by Emblem 3. And I know Erin Klein appreciates that one because she's a fan of Emblem 3. Sunset Boulevard. And let's see. I've been putting out requests, and I think I'm done. I can't believe I actually did 3. I mean, I also did Hey Brother. I'll say it's 4, but Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
But
hey, Andy, thanks for coming on at the end here and jumping in and talking about you and John getting together to bring Q Rockstar to Michigan. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be an unbelievable event. I'm so excited for it.
Well, I think we're going to have to do a live show that Tuesday night before camp.
Yes, I like the sounds of that. And we got to have you on for like a whole hour, not 15 minutes.
Definitely.
So when we get closer to it,
we could throw old references out.
Oh yeah, I love it when I have somebody that's my age and can just like we can just throw Drew under the bus, into the bus. We can just pick him up, throw him into the field, whatever. But
Drew, have you seen Pulp Fiction?
I have seen Pulp Fiction.
Oh, good. Because if you had, now it's going to make you and Brad Wilson sit down and watch that together, because he's another one in your age bracket that just doesn't understand. He'd understand me a lot more if he watched like the stack of DVDs I gave him.
That's awesome.
What are some of the other DVDs? I'm interested.
Well, if you're going to hang around Carippo and me, you got to see Cannonball Run and
awesome.
both Smokey and Randy.
Awesome, great movie.
I don't
Singles is on that list. Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
Classic.
The classics, and anything by John Hughes. So
yeah.
No, this is a great pleasure, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk about Rockstar, something I'm really passionate about, and I think it's going to be really great.
Well, it's absolutely great having you on with us, Andy. We appreciate you joining us, and we wish best success to you and Q Rockstar this summer. We will continue to support you in that, and I know Drew's going to be there. I will probably pop in, definitely for the show. If we're going to do the show, that'd be great, because we actually have some live remote shows this summer. Actually, I think it's going to be pretty incredible. So we're going to have to probably start an event about our live shows this summer, where we're going to be. Because, hey, matter of fact, if you want us to come do a live show with you where you are at, contact us. We're already going to a couple places. We'd love to work something out, have a live audience, and come join you wherever you are and do a live show with you. So reach out for us. You can also check us out on our webpage, Facebook, Instagram, blog, best-keynote.com, anywhere. There's a lot of places to find us. You can Google Two Guys Show and get any episode you like. Drew, why don't you start wrapping us up, and I guess we'll start signing off for the night.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Make sure you head over to Daiquiri and sign up for the 4D Studio. Request an invite there to kind of start creating. It is free. There's a free account there. So definitely check it out. It's much easier than other creation platforms. And like Brian Mullins, our CEO, says, it brings a whole new dimension to ideas. So very powerful way to learn. So definitely check that out. I'm Drew Minnock, at TechMinnock on Twitter. You can also find us at twoguys@smipads.com. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Two Guys Show, brought to you by the EdReach Network, giving educators a big voice. And again, thank you, Andy, for stopping on. Everyone, go over and sign. If you haven't signed up for Q Rockstar yet, you better hurry up, because there's very limited spots left.
Absolutely. So, yes, Andy, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it. Drew, it's always a pleasure doing the show with you. You can find me on Twitter, TechBradWade, at TechBradWade on Twitter. Reach out to us. We're here. We love chatting about emerging technology, AR, everything about that in education. Thank you to the EdReach Network for giving educators a huge voice. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Check out our blog. Thank you for joining us, everyone, tonight. We always appreciate you joining us and getting the Twitter feed going. So thanks again. Have a great night, and stay connected, everyone.
Yep. Take care.